Good afternoon. This is Laura Belanger with the National Weather Service here in Peachtree City, Georgia, with a briefing on potential freezing rain Friday. There's still some uncertainty with the forecast, but our confidence is increasing. Let's take a look at what we're expecting. So let's take a look at how things are setting up. High pressure will push southeast from the Midwest this evening, resulting in cold air damming, or wedge, across the southern Appalachians and into Georgia by tomorrow. Moisture will move into the northwest and north Georgia, resulting in freezing rain as a combination of these features. On the forecast map shown here from the Hydrometeorological Prediction Center, they've denoted this particular area of concern in pink. There's another more useful way to look at this setup. This forecast map shows the wedge positioned along the Appalachian Mountains as well as the overrunning moisture from the northwest. This event is highly dependent on the development of the wedge and the moisture advection into the area. The combination of these features is expected to result in the freezing rain, beginning in northwest Georgia and spreading eastward into the afternoon. Just a reminder, freezing rain is liquid precipitation that freezes on contact with surfaces. The image shown here shows the freezing rain probability for this event from one particular model. Try not to focus on the values and instead notice the most likely areas for accumulating freezing rain. From this map, we see the best chances for accumulating freezing rain will be across north and northeast Georgia. With the other areas, although freezing rain is possible, the accumulations are expected to be minimal or none at all. Friday morning, low temperatures are expected to be in the 20s and low 30s. These temperatures will prime the area for the freezing rain. Little warming is expected through the day. By Friday afternoon, high temperatures will have only warmed into the mid to upper 30s around the periphery of the wedge. Notice that portions of northeast Georgia, well within the cold air dome, will remain within a few degrees of freezing. The warmer temperatures across portions of northwest Georgia, the Atlanta metro area, and into east central Georgia will allow any light ice accumulations to melt and will significantly diminish the threat of freezing rain continuing into the afternoon. There are three primary scenarios that are possible in this situation. The first is that dry air aloft will cause any falling precipitation to evaporate before reaching the surface. This means there'll be little, if any, accumulations, and we'll just see cold temperatures and cloudy skies. The second scenario is similar to the first, but the dry layer moistens just enough to allow liquid precipitation to fall to the surface and then freeze on contact, resulting in freezing rain. Accumulation of ice on surfaces can be expected, with up to 1/4 of an inch of accumulation in northeast Georgia. The last scenario is the worst case, in which evaporational cooling will reinforce the wedge, keeping the cold air in place longer than expected. The result will be cooler afternoon high temperatures and significant widespread ice accumulations of 1/4 of an inch or more across North Georgia. Well, what scenario is it that we're going with? Now, our current forecast is along the lines of scenario number 2. This graphic shows the best timing and highest accumulation amounts for each area. The moisture is expected to move into northwest Georgia by early Friday. Freezing rain accumulation is expected to begin around 6 a.m. As the moisture spreads south and east, portions of the eastern metro Atlanta area could see accumulations as early as 7 a.m. and then into eastern Georgia by 8 a.m. As temperatures warm in the afternoon, the freezing rain potential is expected to diminish around the periphery of the wedge, and only rain is expected to continue. This trend is shown in the image here with the accumulations of ice for all but the far northeast Georgia area ending by 1 p.m. A winter storm warning has been issued for 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. for the area seen here in pink. The freezing rain advisory has been issued for the dark blue and light blue areas for 6 a.m. to 1 p.m. The impacts for Friday's weather are as follows. The greatest accumulations can be expected on elevated surfaces like picnic tables, trees, power lines, anything off the ground. The greatest travel impacts will be through the morning, with some issues possible across northeast Georgia into the afternoon hours. There are possible power outages, especially in the northeast, due to ice accumulating on trees and power lines. Now, for those who were around during January 2011, this is not expected to be as significant of an event as that particular ice storm. This is a good time to review winter weather safety tips, especially for those in the North Georgia mountains, with regard to ice safety. Feel free to take a look here and also see our website listed below for more information. Although the immediate forecast concern remains to be the winter weather Friday, it is worth mentioning that warming temperatures and increasing instability ahead of a cold front will produce thunderstorms Wednesday into Thursday next week. This particular image shows one model's suggested forecast, with the colored areas representing the energy in the atmosphere. Shown here, the front and increased energy are positioned over the lower Mississippi Valley on Wednesday. This front is expected to progress eastward into Georgia with widespread thunderstorms. So in summary, for the Friday winter weather event, the timing is generally Friday morning through early afternoon in northeast Georgia. Now, there's medium confidence in northeast Georgia and lower confidence elsewhere on the amount of accumulations and overall timing. Now, the greatest amount of accumulating ice will be over northeast Georgia with up to about 1/4 of an inch. Lighter amounts are possible over the remainder of North Georgia. Now, for the thunderstorms next week, the timing right now is Wednesday into Thursday, but this could change as we get closer. There's medium to high confidence of scattered to widespread thunderstorms, and with increasing instability by midweek, some of these storms may be strong.